Hi guys, welcome back. Well, I decided just to record this videos for memory's sake. So I remember what I experience every day, and that life is you treasure life. One day you're here, and the next day you're gone. So, I hope that one day when I'm no longer around, someone can peek into these videos and watch them, and you can find out where I am and what I said, what I did. And it's kind of memory thing. You leave us a memory for people to remember you. A token. Token of memory. As a token of memory. So, like I said, I want to be a doctor. I really want to be a hospital doctor, like ER. Push people in and out. And emergency room. Because I think they're like angels. And they really help people when people are in pain. And that's what I want to be when I grow up. And if I really want to be a hospital ER doctor here, then I gotta study in the US and graduate from Duke University. I'm not planning to go overseas anymore to study after coming home from overseas in such a long time spent overseas. I really don't miss traveling to Australia or America and England right now. It would be great to get a medical degree from US or from even Polynesia. I thought of getting a degree from Polynesia. I'm just going there to study, and it's an extension from England and Australian universities. And I think Australia tends to be a little bit prejudiced against foreign students because they suck at school. What was saying, man? Until we beat them. Well, I'm just joking. I came from an Australian school, so I was wanting to go to an Australian medical school because Australian medicine is really fun. And I've been to the Australian hospital, it's really fun. I love the clothes in the ER, and I wanted to be an American doctor and an English doctor. Those are my possibilities, but now I think it's safe to be in Singapore. Clasp to hold you in the palm of the hands in Singapore and be safe. That's what the government taught me. I'm probably safer in Singapore now than any other countries because of this prolonged war in Afghanistan they're fighting. It's a long-run war we are experiencing. It's probably safer to stay here and not fly around. Planes are crashing everywhere now. It's probably safe to not take a plane, catch a plane. I mean, it's a plane in the news being devastated and 40 people lost. People's lives are all going here and there, up and down, and you're still considering taking a plane? I really don't understand. Anyway. So I want to be a doctor. I studied law, in case you don't know, but that's a really old course already. I'm better at let's see, technology, medicine, science, economics, finance, and little engineering and building, because I was actually supposed to be a builder. I was meant to be an industrial builder designer because I come from such and such a background, or an architect. But then lost that lure, that secret lure, and then now we go to medicine. The things the government makes you do. The things governments make you do. It's like serving the army. And not having a choice because the army says you gotta be this, you gotta be a little girl, you gotta be 30 years old, you gotta be, you gotta have done law, even though you've sent a full apprentice of medicine, and you've done other things. I'm just saying. Oh, my class will start working. After having, as you know, for about 2 years now, 3 years, yeah, ever since I got home, I've been in a hospital, and I really miss going to the hospital, taking a bus to Hougang to see, to the hospital to see the patients, to see the doctor, and it makes me want to be a psychiatrist. I might want to study psychiatry after this, and because I think most of the illnesses that most people experience are mental illnesses on top of autism. A lot of autism in many countries because of poverty. A lot of people know the saying marrying a fool, and technically there are a lot of fools around who study from autism, who are autistic and handicapped and with low IQ, tend to suffer from mental illnesses because of poverty. And let's see, mental illness was widespread. It's not actually it's not technically a psychiatric disorder. It's actually just a disease. It could have come from a disease, and technically it's sprung from diseases. And diseases come from all sorts of ailments. And ailments to the head is experienced, like where you experience trauma, where you knock into your head, where you experience prolonged exposure to weather conditions and torture. You go a little loony because your brain, your nerves are detached and attacked. And I love going to the B ward clinic. My favorite. I particularly hate being associated with rich people, snobby people in the upper class ward and looking down on poor people. It's quite comfortable upstairs, but the doctor's a little loony. He thinks there's a problem with everyone. You go to the clinic B ward downstairs, you're treated very normally. Everybody knows there's a problem with everybody, or nothing, no problem at all, because most people are as a bit handicapped and autistic and Down syndrome. I'm suspected of autism, Down syndrome, and I have dyslexia. So people thought I was a little retarded when I went to occupational therapy because then they called me a Mongolite. Because well, I couldn't really count properly and stuff like that, so because of some brain damage. And yak. I love Clinic B because there are a lot of really nice people there, and the patients are really nice to me, the nurses are nice to me. They see me every week and they greet me and they ask me a lot of questions and they talk to me. I made a lot of friends in the ward. There were a lot of young people there like me. And they were playing Uno, we were playing Monopoly, we were playing card games every day. And I was playing the piano every day for them, and we're listening and eating breakfast and talking, eating lunch and talking, eating dinner talking, watching TV talking, watching movie talking. And I watched like 3-4 films with my roommate. And I had a lot of friends, so wow, I like Clinic B Ward better. they treat people equally. And I like equality of treatment and medical treatment for everyone. And that's why I want to be a doctor. It made me even more still want to be a doctor after I went to the hospital and experienced care. And they said I was normal. Of course I'm normal. But, why we need psychiatric care for people from overseas as an important reason. Because you may not know what infection lies in Singapore or from other countries you came from. Is what we're suspected of. So, well, I used to have lots of friends in Australia, but that was a long time ago already. They're no longer around. And, most of them are not pure Australians. There are European Australians. So that was, Australia. Like, I had friends whose names were Cameron and Nix, but they were from Europe, Ukraine, England, Russia, and I had many huge friends, and but that was a long time ago now. So, woohoo! Close the time door portal already. Let's see, why I want to be a doctor again. I love the hospital. Since I was a kid, I love sitting in the hospital, and sometimes there were emergencies. I slept in the hospital bed, and that was my new home. The hospital was like my second home, and I've always wanted to be a doctor in poor countries and in times of need. I think it's very wise to study to be a doctor instead of selfishly wanting money and being a lawyer. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be a better person and educated. People say I'm aiming too high. It's not about aiming too high. It's just about scoring the perfect grade because you did your homework well. And it's more about caring about people's diseases. I care a lot about people's ailments. Like when someone's hurt, someone fainted last year, 2 years ago at Raffles City when I was having Starbucks. I was like, yeah, Starbucks, slurping around, and someone walked out of Starbucks, this lady, and she looked pale, and suddenly she was staggering because her lower body was falling over, and she fell over at the door and fainted. Boom! Really loudly. And everybody rushed to rescue her, but she had no pulse. She just fainted, and nobody could resuscitate her. We had first aid kits with everything. Sam was trying to count her pulse still. And you know, when people faint, your pulse is obviously weak. It's useless to count someone's pulse. You should just listen to their heartbeat. So I sort of knew how to resuscitate her because I learned some medical tricks and tips, obviously. So I resuscitated her by rubbing her foot. She's not the first person to come to me for a medical aid, you know, in Raffles City, which is quite strange. I met this guy. Okay, never mind. I'll tell you about him later. Okay, this woman, I resuscitated her by rubbing her pulmonary veins and resuscitating her pulmonary arteries from the bottom way up because I noticed something was wrong with the kidneys. And she actually apparently had a kidney failure. So until the ambulance came, I managed to wake her up from fainting. I was the only one who could do it because they kept screaming like, does anyone know first aid here? Does anyone have medical experience here? And I didn't want to volunteer because people are labeling me as a legally experienced, not medical experience. But I actually have medical experience. So I ran over and helped, you know. And I sent her into the ambulance. And she was so thankful she woke up. And she said thank you. And I told them to check on the kidneys because I think that's something wrong with the kidneys. And the other time, someone came and he looked like my best friend from America. This guy, who looked a bit like a supermodel. He was talking to me at Starbucks. A lot of strange people talk to me at Starbucks. And so we went out for McDonald's and lunch. We took a hike across the city and took a walk. And he was asking me what was wrong with he had fungus infection all over his leg, and he lifted up his toes for me to see at McDonald's and say, what's wrong with me? And I say, you apparently have this kind of fungal infection that eats up your flesh, a flesh-eating disease that spread into your arms because you scratched it. So I told him to get treated. Oh my god, there's some people with no medical knowledge at all, you know, that's why it's dangerous. And that's why it was useful for me to know at least there are different kinds of rashes, different kinds of flesh-eating diseases, shingles. And yeah, that's why it's important to learn to be a doctor, because people might just faint any day from anything, a heart failure, a brain tumor, overstress, you know, and taking the wrong medication. Like my brother had a heart problem one day 3 years ago, and he nearly had a heart attack. He had swallowed the wrong pills, and he was getting mercury poisoning. And he told me, so I went to get some ailment for him, which I was learning how to do a natural remedy. I was learning some natural remedies, you know, called natural herbal medicine. But it was just lemonade. I was trying to make lemonade from soda pop. But apparently, I read online, the quickest ailment for mercury poisoning and heart attack was lemonade. So I wrote out the chemical equation for lemonade was mixture with soda pop and brown sugar for him. I said this cures mercury poisoning. So I gave it to him to drink, and apparently he got better. He was so shocked he left the chemical equation on the wall.